Have you ever seen an elderly person constantly scratching a certain part of their body and wondered, could it be a sign of something serious? Well, science says it might be. And today I'll share 5 itchy warning spots that could mean their lifespan is shorter than you think. Take Grandma Lucy, for example. She was always scratching behind her ears, absent-mindedly, like it was just an old habit. No one paid much attention. "It's just dry skin," she'd say with a smile. But then, one day, everything changed. She suddenly felt dizzy, weak, and confused. When she finally went to the doctor, they discovered the shocking truth. Her constant itching was a warning sign of a serious, underlying condition. This isn't just about an occasional scratch. These 5 specific itchy spots on an elderly person's body could signal something far more dangerous. From itchy backs to tingling hands, I'll reveal 5 key areas that could indicate an elderly person doesn't have much time left, so watch closely. You don't want to miss this. Itchy spot number 1, the back of the neck, poor circulation and stroke risk. Old Mr. Johnson was the kind of man who never complained. He spent his mornings reading the newspaper, his afternoons tending to his garden, and his evenings telling stories to his grandkids. But if you looked closely, you'd notice something. He was always rubbing the back of his neck. "Just an old man thing," he'd say with a chuckle whenever someone asked. Sometimes he'd scratch at it absent-mindedly. Other times he'd press his fingers into the skin as if trying to relieve a deep discomfort. Nobody thought much of it until one day everything changed. It was a quiet afternoon when Mr. Johnson suddenly collapsed in his chair. His family rushed to his side, but he couldn't speak, and one side of his face had gone slack. The doctors later confirmed their worst fears. He had suffered a stroke. But what shocked everyone was what the doctors explained next. That constant itching at the back of his neck. It wasn't just dry skin or an old habit. It was a sign of poor circulation, a warning that his blood flow to the brain was restricted, increasing his risk of a stroke. Poor circulation in the neck is often a sign of underlying issues like high blood pressure, clogged arteries, or reduced oxygen flow to the brain. When blood struggles to reach critical areas, it can cause nerve irritation, leading to an itchy or tingling sensation. Over time, this can mean a higher chance of stroke or even heart failure. Many elderly individuals ignore this discomfort, brushing it off as nothing serious, just like Mr. Johnson did. But in reality, persistent itching or tingling at the back of the neck can be a silent cry for help from the body. If you or someone you love experiences this kind of itching frequently, it's important to take it seriously. A checkup with a doctor could make all the difference, because catching circulation problems early might just prevent something as devastating as a stroke. Itchy spot number 2, hands and fingers, diabetes or liver failure. Aunt Mary was always a lively woman. She loved baking pies, crocheting scarves for her grandchildren, and never missed her favorite soap operas. But in the last few months, something had changed. She couldn't stop scratching her hands, especially at night. "Must be the weather," she'd say, rubbing her fingers together, trying to soothe the itch. She tried every lotion, every cream, but nothing worked. It got so bad that she'd wake up with red, irritated skin from scratching in her sleep. At first, she didn't think much of it, until one day, she mentioned it during a routine doctor's visit. That's when she got the shocking news. Her blood sugar levels were dangerously high. The doctor diagnosed her with advanced diabetes, a condition that had been quietly damaging her body for years. The itching in her hands? It was a warning sign of nerve damage caused by high blood sugar levels. What she thought was just dry skin was actually her body struggling to cope with a condition that could lead to blindness, kidney failure, and even amputations if left untreated. Chronic itching in the hands and fingers is often linked to diabetic neuropathy, a type of nerve damage caused by prolonged high blood sugar. When nerves start to malfunction, they can send incorrect signals to the brain, leading to sensations of tingling, burning, or relentless itching. But that's not the only possible cause. Persistent itching in the hands can also be a sign of liver disease or liver failure. When the liver struggles to filter toxins from the blood, these toxins build up in the body, often causing intense itching, especially in the hands and feet. So if you or a loved one constantly scratch their hands, don't just assume it's dry skin. It could be a serious warning sign of something far more dangerous lurking beneath the surface. A quick checkup could catch diabetes or liver disease before it's too late, just like it did for Aunt Mary. Itchy spot number 3, feet and ankles, heart and kidney disease. Grandpa Joe was a tough old man, stubborn as a mule and proud of it. He had spent his younger years working in construction, and even in his 70s, he still insisted on doing things his own way. But there was one thing he couldn't ignore: his itchy feet. Every night, without fail, he'd sit in his recliner, take off his socks, and scratch at his ankles until they were red. He even kept a fork next to his chair, his scratching tool, as he jokingly called it. "Just dry skin," he'd say, brushing off any concerns. But no matter how much lotion he used, the itching never stopped. Then, one day, his legs started swelling. He felt constantly exhausted, and his appetite disappeared. When he finally went to the doctor, the truth was revealed. He had kidney disease, and it had been silently progressing for years. The doctor explained that his constant itching wasn't just dry skin. It was a sign that his kidneys weren't filtering toxins properly. Those toxins had been building up in his bloodstream, irritating his skin, especially around his feet and ankles. It was a warning sign that his body had been sending him for months, maybe even years, but he never realized it. When the kidneys start to fail, they can't effectively remove waste and excess fluids from the body. This leads to a buildup of toxins that can cause severe itching, particularly in the lower extremities. But kidney disease isn't the only culprit. Itchy feet and swollen ankles can also be a warning sign of heart disease, as poor circulation can cause fluid retention and irritation in the lower limbs. If the heart isn't pumping blood efficiently, fluids pool in the feet, leading to swelling, discomfort, and that relentless urge to scratch. So, if you or someone you know has persistent itching in the feet and ankles, don't ignore it. It could be a silent cry for help from the kidneys or heart. Just like Grandpa Joe, many people dismiss it as nothing, but getting checked early could be the difference between catching a serious illness in time or letting it go too far. Itchy spot number 4, the scalp, neurological decline and dementia. Nana Rose had always been sharp as a tack. She never forgot a birthday, always had a new book to recommend, and could finish a crossword puzzle faster than anyone. But as the years went by, something strange started happening. She couldn't stop scratching her scalp. At first, everyone thought it was stress or maybe a reaction to a new shampoo. She'd sit on the porch, absent-mindedly rubbing her head, digging her nails into her scalp so often that her hair started thinning in patches. "It's just a bad habit," she'd say. But what no one realized was that her body was trying to warn her about something much more serious. As time passed, Nana Rose started forgetting small things, where she left her glasses, what day it was, even names of people she'd known for years. When she finally went to the doctor, they delivered heartbreaking news: early-stage dementia. But what surprised everyone the most was what the doctor said next. Her constant scalp itching may have been one of the earliest warning signs. Many people don't know this, but some neurological conditions, including dementia and other degenerative brain diseases, can cause unexplained itching. This happens because as the brain starts to deteriorate, it can misfire signals to the nerves, creating strange sensations, including persistent itching. The scalp, being highly sensitive, is one of the most common areas where this occurs. Some patients report a tingling, burning, or itchy feeling long before other symptoms of memory loss appear. So if an elderly loved one is constantly scratching their scalp without any clear reason, it might not just be dry skin or stress. It could be their brain sending distress signals. Just like Nana Rose, many people ignore these early warnings until it's too late. But catching neurological decline early can make a huge difference in treatment and quality of life. If you notice this symptom, pay attention. It could be more than just an itch. Itchy spot number 5, around the stomach or chest, liver disease or cancer. Uncle Frank was the kind of guy who laughed off everything. No matter what life threw at him, he had a joke for it. So when he started scratching right under his ribs all the time, he didn't think much of it. "Guess I need a new soap," he'd chuckle, rubbing the spot absent-mindedly while watching TV. The itch was relentless, but he figured it was nothing serious, just dry skin or maybe an allergy. Months passed, and the itching never went away. In fact, it started getting worse. But Uncle Frank, being Uncle Frank, brushed it off, until one day he couldn't ignore it anymore. By the time he finally saw a doctor, the news was devastating: advanced liver disease. His body had been trying to warn him all along, but he didn't realize it. The constant itching near his stomach wasn't just a minor irritation, it was a symptom of his liver struggling to function. The doctor explained that when the liver becomes damaged, it can no longer properly filter bile and toxins from the blood. These toxins build up and cause severe itching, especially around the stomach and chest area. Liver disease, including cirrhosis and even liver cancer, can often remain silent for years, with few obvious symptoms. But one of the earliest warning signs is unexplained itching, particularly around the midsection. It happens because the liver fails to remove excess bile salts, which then accumulate under the skin, triggering an unbearable itch. Sadly, many people ignore this symptom, just like Uncle Frank did, until the disease has already progressed to a dangerous stage. So, if you or a loved one has persistent itching around the stomach or chest, don't just assume it's dry skin. It could be your liver sending a distress signal. Early detection can make all the difference, so don't wait. Get checked before it's too late. Conclusion. So there you have it, 5 itchy spots that could be warning signs of serious health issues. From strokes to liver disease, our bodies often try to warn us before it's too late. If you or someone you love is experiencing persistent itching in these areas, don't ignore it. Get checked before it's too late. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more health insights, and share this with someone who needs to see it. And before you go, I want to know what you think. If you believe this information was useful, comment 9 below. If you think it's nothing to worry about, comment 0. Let's see what everyone thinks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay healthy. And stay